Lil Baby is in the trenches. It's crazy that there's a Lil Baby in the video I'm about to show you, and it's not the 11-year-old. If you paid close attention to the video, you would have noticed that that's Lil Baby and a guy flashing cash. If you pay even closer attention, you will notice that the guy flashing cash is actually FNG Lil King. And unlike Lil Baby, Lil King is actually little. Lil King is only 11 years old. Now you may be forgiven for thinking that Lil King is Lil Baby's son. I mean, that nomenclature would be a little too much. Lil King is actually a rapper who started his rap career in the year 2023. Before that, he was in diapers and sucking his mother's pacifier. Lil King rose to fame at the release of the collaborative single Glorilla Mode. The song's accompanying music video has been viewed more than 4 million times on YouTube. His Respect the Struggle freestyle upload has also garnered large attention on YouTube. Now that I think about it, he may have the shortest biography in all of rap. Lil Baby and Lil King were spotted hanging out at Lil King's 11th birthday party in a club in Atlanta. The problem with this is that Lil King is only 11 years old. So it makes you really question the level of degenerateness that society today has attained. If a 29-year-old man can't see anything wrong with a child being at the club, regardless of whether or not this child has a history of being in such places, then clearly there is a problem there. Funny actually, because you may think this is a one-time thing for Lil Baby, but that's far from the truth. At the rise of Lil King's rap career in the first quarter of 2023, one of the people that were there to witness it firsthand was Lil Baby. And Lil Baby quickly aligned himself with Lil King as well as his manager Finesse 2 times by inviting them over for a game of dice. Quite interesting considering that it hadn't even been a year since Takeoff was taken because of a game of dice. But that did not stop Lil Baby from calling over the then 10-year-old. Not to put him on a high pedestal as a saint of some kind, especially considering he had a rough childhood himself, in which he was arrested 3 times, and he faced police brutality multiple times, to the point where, he says, those sorts of things were normal. It's easy to understand where Lil Baby is coming from. His rise in the industry is probably because of this very lifestyle that he once lived. Many people say he's one of the most authentic rappers. And Coach K is actually the one who encouraged him to leave the streets and start rapping when he was 17 years old, because the life he was living is what others rapped about without ever living it. I will not mention names. Pusha T. I digress. Based off his past, Lil Baby is no model citizen, but as a normal 29-year-old man, he has absolutely no business hanging out with an 11-year-old child. The lack of men in America is genuinely terrifying. We have overgrown boys, not men. Now I know some people may feel as though I'm being a little too hard on Lil Baby, and others may wonder where Lil King's parents are. That's a great question. Where is his father? Where is his mother? And please tell her to come with 2 pacifiers this time, for her Lil Baby and for Lil Baby. Unfortunately, that may not be happening because his mother is battling court cases. She's no model citizen either. Her most recent arrest in May of 2023 was as a result of her allegedly putting a scissors through her mother 8 times. Her mother, of course, being the grandmother of Lil King. Lil King's mom, on the other hand, is a 39-years-old person with the mental capacity of a teenage girl.
I'm not on crack. I just did 22 months at the Penniform. And no, I have not been out long. No, I do not have custody to King. King name is Keon. I don't have custody.
His father is not known to exactly stick around, but he is alive. We know that.
Y'all flick your wrist, huh? Y'all flick your wrist, huh? Flick your wrist.
And what Lil King has had as a father figure is the streets. Well, that was up until he was adopted by Finesse 2 times, who has allegedly given him shelter, a record deal, and also helped improve his finances. I say allegedly, because the last time we saw a child taken under the wing of an adult in the music business, the record deals that were signed were extremely exploitative in nature. Deals that needed lawsuits and repeated lawyer visits to get out of. And with Lil King only being so young with no one to properly stand up for him, I would not give Finesse 2 times the halo just yet, because he could very easily finesse this child. I mean, if you think about it critically, the very fact that he has this lil man acting all hard at 11 years old should clearly tell you that he's also not the best father figure for this boy, unfortunately. Finesse 2 times, whose real name is Ricky Hampton, in 2010 was convicted in Tennessee of 2 felony counts of aggravated robbery and was given an 8-year sentence. After serving 6 years, he was released in August 2016. On July 1, 2017, Hampton was performing at the Power Ultra Lounge nightclub in Little Rock, Arkansas, when multiple shots were fired. The following day in Birmingham, Alabama, he was taken into custody by the U.S. Marshals on charges unrelated to the shooting. Federal prosecutors announced that Hampton was charged in connection with a June 25, 2017 incident in which prosecutors alleged Hampton fired an arm at a person in a vehicle after a verbal altercation outside a nightclub in Forest City, Arkansas. Hampton pled guilty to 1 count of being a felon in possession of a firearm and was sentenced to 5 years in prison in December 2018. He was released from federal custody on July 1, 2022. In July of 2023, the Houston Police Department issued an arrest warrant for Hampton, charging him with theft between $30,000 and $150,000 after an Enterprise rental car he was said to be driving was not returned. The charges were dropped later that month. Clearly, this is no model citizen that should be allowed to adopt a child, whether it be formally or informally. Keep that lil baby away from him. And it's for this reason that Charleston White, the self-proclaimed snitch, stood up to criticize this entire dynamic and everything that was going on. A reasonable parental figure will never have their 11-year-old boy moving from club to club, throwing dice, being around substances and vices that are well beyond his 11-year-old brain. Charleston White was right. But then Lil King got onto Instagram and started making threats towards Charleston White.
Charleston White, you get caught, you getting smacked, and we're gonna strip you.
But you know what Charleston White did when he saw them? He called CPS. Rightly so, too. Before we even get to that part, don't you wonder why Instagram didn't close this child's account? I mean, what's the point of having a then 10-year-old on a platform that has a minimum age requirement of 11 years old? Regardless, Charleston White came to ruin this party. As an ex-convict who currently prides himself with his work of helping young children stay out the streets, he was quick to call CPS to basically snitch on everyone involved from Finesse 2 times to Lil King's mother. He accused them all of neglect, which I think was completely right. I'm not sure what the conclusion of all that was exactly, but clearly not much changed. Because now we're seeing this child in clubs again, flashing money and being around all the wrong company. How on earth does he even get into clubs? And why isn't the state doing something? If you ask me, lil baby aside, every adult in that video needs to be arrested. At the rate that Lil King is moving, it's clear to see that he will be a doctor later in life.